You need a way to stand out online and differentiate yourself from everybody else. Do you have a personal brand? Do you even know what a personal brand is? And if you don't have one, why not? My friends, it is 2022 and you need a personal brand. If you're a performing artist, there's just no way around it unless you have a label behind you that is doing all of your branding for you. If you're an indie artist, you need a brand. And I don't care whether we're talking singer, actor, dancer, musician, you need a way to stand out online and differentiate yourself from everybody else. And for my money, even if you are signed with a label, I would rather be in charge of my personal brand than allow somebody else to do it for you. From my perspective, your personal brand is personal, and it should reflect all of who you are, not what somebody else thinks you are. So my question for you is, do you have a personal brand? Do you even know what a personal brand is? And if you don't have one, why not? Hi, I'm Fiona, and I cover all things mindset, marketing, and monetization for performing artists. I'm a performing artist just like you, and it wasn't until I started focusing in on business and leveraging social media that I finally went from starving artist to profitable performer. That's why I'm here, to help you become profitable too. So subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, join my free Facebook community, check out the free resources below, and let's dive in to talk about personal branding. So recently I was coached. So I am a coach and I have a coach because coaches need coaches. On a coaching call with my own mastermind coach, I asked her to pinpoint one of my blind spots because I knew that I was a little bit stuck and I wanted somebody else's feedback on what was going wrong. So what she said was that I have a tendency to overanalyze and get overwhelmed by possibilities and then get stuck in sort of a paralysis and not take action. Now this was hard for me to hear because I don't see myself that way at all. But it was interesting because this birthday, I wanted to go horseback riding, and it suddenly hit me that several years ago I had wanted to go horseback riding on my birthday too. But instead of actually going, I spent the entire day researching where to go on my birthday. I'm literally researching where to go horseback riding, and then I never went. Does that sound at all familiar or relatable to you? Because when I look back on it, it's kind of a bummer. And this timing of this conversation with my mastermind coach was right around my birthday. And I had that impulse. I wanted to go horseback riding again. I really took to heart what it was that she had told me, which is part of why it's so great to work with a coach, right? So that you can get feedback on things that are your actual blind spots. And so the birthday coincided with this conversation, remembering this past craziness of not even ending up going horseback riding. And I thought, this year I'm actually going to go. And so I went. But I realized that the reason that I hadn't gone was all mindset junk. It was just like this analysis paralysis. And so it got me thinking about your personal brand and why people don't end up really standing out online and why they don't create that strong, dynamic personal brand in the first place. And what I realized is that there are some significant sneaky mindset traps that are in the way. So we'll get more into branding in another one of these videos, but today we're specifically going to look at why you're not actually creating that brand or letting your brand be all that it could be. So here are 3 sneaky ways that your mindset is actually diminishing the power of your personal brand. So number 1, let's say that you desire a big, bold, dramatic, powerful personal brand. But on the inside, you feel kind of meek and small. Well, how are you going to show up big and bold on the internet if inside you don't feel that way? So this is how your mindset actually impacts your branding. If you don't have the guts to show up in the way that you desire for your brand, then you're just not going to show up. And that can create a disconnect so that you kind of don't show up at all, right? Now imagine you want your brand to say the things that you know your audience needs to hear. Maybe they're a little polarizing, maybe it's a little bit of tough love, but they really need to hear it and you know they need to hear it. But on the inside, you're afraid of what people will think of you if you actually say the things. So of course, you don't show up and say them and then your brand gets diminished. So you have this sort of milquetoast, mediocre brand. What do I mean by brand? I basically mean you showing up. I mean, how do you show up on the internet? This is your brand. Your brand, it's a personal brand. It's you. So if inside you're afraid of what people will think of you, and kind of we all are, but you let that stop you from actually showing up and saying what you need to say, well then again, your brand is just kind of diminished and smaller than it would be if you actually showed up as all of you and said, ta-da, this is what I truly believe. Like I'm doing right now, right? I'm saying stuff big and bold, and it's a little scary because I don't know how you're going to take it, but I have to risk it because it's that important to me. It's that important to me that you become profitable. And I know that your personal brand is standing in the way, or your lack of personal brand is standing in the way of you making the impact you need to make in order to be memorable, in order to be magnetic, in order to attract your dream students, your dream clients, your dream opportunities, your dream fans. Understand? Now, here's one more way in which your mindset may be impacting your brand. So let's say that you desire to have your brand reflect your silliness, your goofiness, your geekiness, your nerdiness, but you're worried, again, inside you're worried that you need to be more serious. Now, I've heard this a lot from opera singers and classical musicians, that they can't just show up all of their kooky themness because they're afraid of, again, what people will think because they're in a serious profession. They're serious classical musicians and therefore they can't be silly and goofy on the internet. Well, okay, maybe you would not get cast at some serious place. But on the other hand, you would be attracting all of your truly dream opportunities. You would be attracting the people that really resonate with you, and you would be building a following and a real business. Because as far as I'm concerned, being dependent upon other people to cast you in things, especially if they want you to be a certain way and not a certain other way, is very limiting. It limits what's possible to you. Whereas creating your own personal brand, showing up on the internet and selling your own offers, whatever they may be, whether they are your concerts, your merchandise, your albums, your coaching, your programs, your teaching, your lessons, etc., whatever it is you're selling, that is the path to true financial freedom, not auditions and industry gatekeepers. All right? There's a little bit of tough love that I've got to say, and I've got to risk saying to you. It's part of my brand because it's part of my mission, because it's what I truly believe. And this is why I have the passion to show up in the first place, because I say what I really believe. And I encourage you to do the same. All right? So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you really are starting to understand the connection between your mindset and the way you show up on the internet, okay? Now, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments what other topics you'd love for me to cover, all right, to help you rock your business. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and watch these videos next. Now, as always, go out into the world and let your light shine. You deserve to be heard, and the world truly does deserve to hear you.